Hello and welcome to Crochet by NatalieLucille. Today we're going to make these super cute pumpkin coasters. Now, I am using the Addi Knitting Machine. You don't have to make a coaster. You can actually make this into a sachet. I think that's what you call it. And fill it with lavender, or you can fill it with anything. So this is pretty versatile. So grab your Addi Express machine, get your waste yarn, and you're going to round about 7 to 10 rounds. I did 10 because the first one that I made, I didn't make enough rounds and it started to unravel when I was working my edges. So it is important to make sure you have enough waste yarn so it doesn't unravel. And if you're unfamiliar with how to use the Addi Express machine or even the King Addi, I have some videos I'll link below. Cut your waste yarn and then change it to your main color, which I am using like a a beige color. So you're going to work 20 rounds in your main color. Cut your main color and then work 7 to 10 rounds of your waste yarn. And if you're wondering what the waste yarn is, check out the other videos. You're not going to use it. You're going to be throwing it away. That's why they call it waste yarn. So I'm just using a contrasting color to my main color. And you'll see why, because if you use something that's similar, you're going to get really frustrated. So now let's begin. So another skill we're going to learn today is how to cross stitch on to knit. And I do this a lot with, I do mug cozies and scarves and not plant holders, but kind of like the plant has its own cozy. These are the colors I'm using for my pumpkin today. I also have a crochet hook. Doesn't matter which size, you're just joining some ends. And you need a tapestry needle. So grab your pumpkin color and get quite a long piece, but you're probably going to, because there are a lot of stitches, you might have to refill your needle. So now, once you have your work in place, you kind of want to flatten it out a bit. And you want to find the center. That's what we're looking for. And I'm wanting to count up about 4. So I think that's it. And then I'm going to count up about 10 because I believe that's how many is in the pumpkin. And then there's about 5 or 6 or 4 or 5 left over. But I do want to start from the row number 4 working up. I'm very meticulous when I'm doing something. I'll count and recount several times because if you've ever sewn before, you measure twice, cut once. So because the moment you cut, it's done. So now you want to count over how many spaces you're going to need. Row 1, which is what we're about to start on, is 6 stitches. So when you're working with the cross stitch, you come to the bottom of the V stitch of the knit stitch. And you can see where I'm pulling it up gently, don't tug, and you're going to leave your tail a little bit longer. There's your V stitch, and then you'll come above the V stitch you're working on, and from right to left, you'll go into the, what are they called, of the V stitch arms? Is it an arm? I'm not sure, but you'll work around it. And you're going to work a row of this. So you're coming up from the bottom of what would be considered, to me, if I'm looking at it because I don't know the words for it, is you're coming up from the bottom of this V stitch, and then you'll come above it, if you will. So here's your V stitch. You'll go to the next one above it and go from the right to left behind the front little arms of that V stitch. And sometimes I go across like this, but remember you're working your stitches from the bottom of the V stitch and up around. And try not to tug on any of your yarn. You want to it's a gentle pull. And if it's too much, it strains it and it won't lay correctly. So just keep working your stitches across, and you're coming up from the bottom up and over. So once you have finished your 6, this is row 1, it should, remember no tugging, it should look like this. There's your first 6. And now you're going to come up to row 2. So you can see where my needle is going through. That is the bottom of that stitch. So you're kind of over to the side and up. And in this row, you're going to stitch 8. And you can see how I go above the stitch I'm working on, and I'm going around, through and around, then the stitches that I'm working. Again, you can see where the bottom is. It's almost setting inside the V that you previously worked. No tugging. I'm telling you, you're going to be so frustrated if you start tugging. No tugging. And then just work your stitches. It's so easy to cross stitch on knit, and it is super relaxing. I like to listen to stories on like YouTube when I just want to relax and cross stitch. The next row, you'll kind of again work out and up, and in this next row you'll work 10 stitches. So in rows 3 through 6 you'll work a total of 10. So there's 4 rows of 10. And once you've completed that, we're ready for our next row. And you'll work directly above. Did I say that right? So in this row, you're going to work 4 stitches. You're going to skip 2 stitches, and then you're going to work 4 stitches. And it'll look just like this. So your stem will go in the skipped stitch. And then on the next row, you're going to work 2 stitches in the middle of your pumpkin stitches right there. So it's 2, skip 4, 2 again. So it'll look like this. Now cut your pumpkin color, grab your stem color, and you won't need much because you're only working 6 stitches of the stem. So in the 2 skipped stitches, you'll work 2 stem stitches, and you'll work 2 here, 2 on top of that, and 2 on top of that. So for a total of 6 stitches. See, once you start cross stitching on top of knit, it is so easy, and it's very cathartic, I promise. I absolutely love it. I pulled a little too tight on that, so you can just kind of loosen it a little bit. But even if you slow down this video, you can see where the stitches are going in. Remember, it's 2, 2, and 2 for a total of 6. Cut your stem and grab your leaf color. Again, you won't need too much on this. Now, when I was doing this video, I thought I wanted the leaf placed a certain way, and then I realized I didn't like it, so I undid it and kept my mistake in the video. So just follow this is wrong. Don't follow what I'm saying right here. When I come back, you'll see the placement, and then follow that, because once I did this, I thought, nope, that doesn't look right. So you'll do one here that is correct. And then watch for the placement when I come back. That's the way it should be. So it's 1 and then 2 above that. And then you'll come up 1 and then over and up 1. So you can kind of see how that looks. I made a boo-boo. So after you have cut your yarn, now we're going to sew the tops together. So you want, and this is, I get real particular, so I'm constantly flattening, putting back. But what you want to do is grab your crochet hook. Once you've flattened it, because you have your tail on the one side. So once it's flattened, you have one center stitch loop. You're going to go in that loop and rotate back and forth, pulling up loops, kind of like slip stitching. And so you're grabbing every loop back and forth and back and forth. You don't want to miss any loops like I did. And so you have unraveled work in the end, and you're left with a bit of frustration. So it should look like that. Once you come all the way to the end, and you're going to check and make sure there are no loops. Nope, everything looks good. We're going to grab our tail and pull it through, fasten off. And I thought I was going to use my tail for something else. I decided not to, so I'm going to cut that soon. Now you want to cut your waist yarn. And yeah, mine didn't go as planned. I mean, it comes off, but normally you can just, cut it a certain way and it all comes out. I was like, really? It's not coming out this time. So you just have to keep cutting. Don't cut your main color though. So once you've actually gotten your waist yarn off of there, it'll look like that. Now you're going to copy and do the other side. Make sure there's no loops left. And again, you're rotating back and forth. And I was making sure on this one, once I realized there's nothing left, you're going to fasten off. Oh, and my orange got caught up in there, but I'll cut that off in just a second. But I thought, really? What is happening? But my orange, just my waist yarn wanted to get caught up in there. So I'll get that cut off in a second. And see, on the other end of your waist yarn, you have one end that you can just pull right on out, and it's lovely. I hope I'm not yelling in everybody's ears. I feel like I'm getting overly excited with my video, and I feel like I'm talking really loud. I apologize if I am. This is supposed to be soothing and not ear piercing. So once you have pulled off your waist yarn, it should be so spongy, just like this. And now grab your kindergarten scissors, which mine are super sharp. That's why I use them. And you're just going to cut your tails. And, I guess I'm just going to film outside or do my, oh, there we are. Welcome back. So grab that tail and just pull it through. And then just cut it off. Again, just weaving these ends in. And you're just going up in between the stitches, not all the way through the other side. Again, I'm yelling. Stop yelling. I'm not yelling at you. I'm excited. Big difference. So you're going to grab your main color, and I'm joining in the middle of this outside row. We're going to work in a really cool edging. It's definitely my favorite. Just kind of move your tail to the side. And it's like a single crochet, but you wrap your yarn around your hook. You'll come towards you, around, and then pull through. So you're inserting, yarning over, then wrapping, and then pulling through. This is my favorite edging to do. It's easy and it just has a really cool effect. Just keep wrapping. And again, if you're wanting to take your project and maybe stuff it with something before doing the edging, or not even just doing the edging before you close it up, do that. On the corner, I'm just chaining one and then working my edging stitch in that same stitch. Now on the side, really eyeball it to get it flat. So you want to look at your bottom edge and work your way up just by looking, eyeballing it. And because I will eyeball it several times just to make sure. Even I'm annoying to myself because it's one of those where, because if I don't do it correct the first time, I'm going to have to undo it and redo it. So I want to make sure as I'm doing it, it is going as I would like. So I'm just going to continue my edging all down this side here. And look how spongy. Just love it. And then you're at the edge, so you'll chain one and then continue your edging on the bottom, working your way around, making sure it's not going to not cinch, but I want it to lay flat and I want it to not curl. I'm losing my words. It's the evening, so just keep working your edging across. And then when you're ready to work down the other side, you can be really meticulous like myself to make sure that is going to line up correctly. And I probably eyeball it 10 times like, nope, that's not right. Nope, let's try that again. So once I start down the side, I keep going, I don't think that's right. And I keep checking it literally like 20 times, like up, down, up, down, up, down. But it ended up being just fine. So you just kind of eyeball and make sure it lines up. And then while you're filming, film inside the viewing. So everybody is, we're all trying to learn here. Eyeball it again. I have to laugh at myself, because you're not going to laugh, you're going to cry. So I think it's funny. Yep. I need to do a counter. But I really like this project. I like projects that are, that not that they're simple. This one's simple, but the simplicity of it. It's the little things that I just absolutely love. Once you've finished that edging, of course, you'll come to the corner and chain one and do your edging stitch in that same stitch, and you're going to almost be finished. Oh, this was such a fun project to do. Today, as I'm filming this, it's the first day of fall, and it's my favorite time of year. It's right when everything starts to cool down a bit, because I'm here in the South where it gets really humid, and it's lovely to be able to sit out on the back deck, drink my coffee. It's so peaceful. Everything's starting to turn and change, and I just love all the colors. And this project made me super happy. And I hope you were able to learn something today. whether it be the Addi Knitting Machine or cross-stitching onto knit or working a really cool edging. Three for the price of one plus $1. Isn't that what they say? Well, I hope that you enjoyed yourself, and I hope that you're able to make some of these. They make great gifts. Hit that subscribe button and the like so I know that you are learning and enjoying it. And hit the notification bell because I do upload regularly. Check me out on Etsy and Instagram. I'm uploading there as well, and I got sales going on. Thank you all for just being a part of this fun adventure. Until next time.